July 16th, 1945. The debut of the atomic age. Trinity Site, New Mexico. But what do we really know about this place? A patch of worthless desert? A habitat unfit for man or beast? What was it before the bomb? For George and Laura, Dave, Mertis, and a host of other McDonalds, it was home. Over the past 50 years, an incredible drama has been playing to a non-existent audience. The theme is a cultural clash that will echo through history for decades. Basically, it's been the cowboys versus the U.S. Army, and as the final chapter unfolds, the cowboys are losing.
Really, in reality, they dubbed a little here and a little there and messed with us for 30 years, and that's a little bit hard to understand. You don't know how to understand it.
They were a hardy bunch, the natives of this region, cattle ranchers that seemed to thrive on isolation and hardship. The ranchers loved this big country, and this enabled them to keep old values and customs, like honoring a deal made with a handshake. Beyond the Hollywood myths, beyond the folklore, the real cowboys did indeed exist. There's a wonderful cast of contemporary characters in this drama. Bob Jones of the New Mexico Cattle Growers Association, a stubborn, tireless, behind-the-scenes mover and shaker. Dave McDonald.
The government, they sit back there and spend the taxpayers' money, and they don't care much about us old ranchers.
And Dave's niece, Mary McDonald.
I've lost everything I've owned trying to help these people get it. Nothing. Congressman promises, rhetoric, bullshit. That's all we get.
G.B. Oliver, one of the best horse trainers in the state and now spokesman for the ranchers. Howard Wood.
The way their lease read, they could keep leasing it up until 1970, but at a year at a time. But they could turn it back within 90 days if they wanted to.
And his wife, Betty Wood.
So you're under that shadow all the time. You can't make any plans. You can't make any real changes because you've got a commitment in the mountains.
General Tom Jones, the current commander of White Sands Missile Range.
They were all told you're going to get your place back. That will happen. And of course, that never happened. They never got their place back.
And Dixie Tucker, a lady in the Western tradition.
When you have to just relocate and have your home and everything taken away, well, it's kind of like a fire. It just destroys everything.
But the main character in this drama is the Tularosa Valley, a 40 by 200 mile patch of austere, sun-baked land, arguably the last frontier of the West. The white sands of this valley have been stained by the blood of many peoples, Apaches at war with the Comanches, horse soldiers, Mexican settlers, and cattlemen who died in bitter range wars. Who could live here, you say? Obviously, only the toughest and most adaptable. And that includes the ranchers who pioneered this land in the late 1800s. They were Texas cattlemen who felt hemmed in Texas, if you can imagine that. Even today, a decent-sized ranch in this area is at least 30,000 acres. The story begins during World War II when our government seized the Tularosa Valley from the ranchers.
They came out there and said they wanted it for a bombing range and that they would move us off for right then, and then when the war was over, they would put our improvements back just like they was, and we could move back out there.
That day never came. Instead came the Manhattan Project. Then the scientists with their need for vast expanses to test the V-2 rockets stolen from the Nazis. It was the bomb, though, that sealed the fate of this land and its people. Now tourists come twice a year to gape at the nothingness of Trinity Site and at the forlorn McDonald Ranch House where the bomb was assembled. Dave and Mary McDonald, however, are not about to roll over and play dead for history. In 1982, armed and dead serious, they entered the missile range illegally and reclaimed Dave's ranch. The risks were substantial, a prison sentence, if not life and limb. And Mary's not giving up yet.
I'm going in again. The question is not if I'm going, the question is when I'm going. That's what better worry the senators and congressmen, and the why I'm going.
Meanwhile, other White Sands ranchers still walk the halls of Congress seeking justice. Yet another bill has been created and launched into the committee hearing process.
These ranchers and miners are still waiting to be compensated after complete and lasting disruption of their lives and livelihood.
Congressman Joe Skeen again leads the charge in the House of Representatives. His counterpart in the Senate is Pete Domenici.
I've been in the United States Senate almost 18 years, and this is probably the most inequitable, unfair situation that I've run into in all that time.
G.B. Oliver testifies.
I can certainly say that ever since that I've been involved in this thing, since 1946, that our total entire family has been affected with this grievance and this struggle to get our land back or get justly compensated for it.
Since every legal maneuver to compensate the ranchers over the past 50 years has essentially failed, it is recognized that this bill is a last-ditch effort.
The hearing is adjourned. Well, I have a great deal of hope because I've been here now 10 years, and I introduced this when I first came up here, and we finally got a hearing.
Hope is a precious commodity among people for whom the war has never ended. And some have paid a price that approaches intolerable. Betty Wood.
You're always brought up to think that whatever your government needs, you give. Or you send your boys to service or whatever. But then whenever these people, the way these people were done, it doesn't seem to apply to you. It's just something you read about because it just simply doesn't work that way.
Things are particularly difficult for the Woods right now. Howard Wood is not the only rancher in the region suffering from cancer. But to date, there have been no official studies.
Doing all right?
I guess I have to be.
The cancer issue lingers in the air, an unanswered question. And indeed, there are many other questions to be considered. Why were these people singled out for this kind of treatment from the Army Corps of Engineers? Why has justice eluded them all these years? Are they victims of their own code, a code that reveres self-reliance and frowns on public complaining? Is there no longer a place in our society for the trusting patriot? And if it happened to them, can it happen to us? One final thought. Of the 150 White Sands families, less than 20 original owners are left. The chain is broken. So little land remaining, so many children scattered to the cities. They were our heroes, these cowboys and their tenacious womenfolk. But they're an endangered species now, who have finally, irrevocably, lost their natural habitat.
From this valley they say you are going. I shall miss your bright eyes and your smile. For you say you were taking the sunshine that has brightened our path for a while. So come sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember